Hey there, greetings everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Plan B Success. The financial cycles of the world are fascinating, to say the least, and like everything else in life, they follow certain patterns. Here's a look at some of the most interesting findings. There are 3 phases to every financial cycle: expansion, contraction, and recession. Expansionary phase is characterized by increased economic activity and rising asset prices. Contractionary phase is characterized by decreased economic activity and falling asset prices. Recessionary phase is the deepest and longest part of the cycle, characterized by widespread economic contraction. So what causes these cycles? There are a number of theories out there, but the most widely accepted one is that they are caused by changes in the money supply. When the money supply increases, it's easier for people to borrow and spend, which leads to economic expansion. When the money supply decreases, it becomes more difficult to borrow and spend, which leads to contraction. What's interesting is that these cycles don't just affect one country or region, but the whole world. That's because the global economy is so interconnected these days. So when there's an expansion in one part of the world, it tends to lead to expansions in other parts of the world. Similarly, when there's a contraction in one part of the world, it tends to lead to contractions in other parts of the world. The financial cycles of the world are constantly in flux, and it can be difficult to keep up. These cycles are influenced by a variety of factors, including interest rates, inflation, and economic growth. When these factors change, it can cause the economy to either grow or contract. The most well-known financial cycle is the business cycle, which is made up of 4 phases: expansion, peak, contraction, and trough. During the expansion phase, the economy grows and businesses expand. This is usually followed by a period of high inflation, which can lead to an economic peak. Once the peak is reached, the economy will then begin to contract. This can lead to a period of recession, where businesses may have to lay off employees or close down entirely. The business cycle can be fairly unpredictable, which is why it's important for businesses to be prepared for all phases. After all, what goes up must eventually come down. Here's a quick rundown of the major economic regions and how they are faring. The United States is still the largest economy in the world, but it's currently in the midst of a slowdown. The country is struggling with trade tensions, rising interest rates, and high levels of debt. The European Union is also facing some challenges, including the Ukraine-Russia war's impact and a sluggish economy thanks to the pandemic too. China is the world's second largest economy, and it's been growing at a rapid pace in recent years. However, the country is now facing some headwinds, including a slowing property market and an ongoing trade war with the United States. Japan is another major economic powerhouse, but it is experiencing some challenges. The country's population is aging rapidly, and its economy has been stagnant for years. Emerging markets like India and Brazil are also seeing strong growth, but they're not immune to global economic headwinds. Despite the challenges, the world economy is still expected to grow in 2022-23, so don't despair. Things may not be as bad as they seem. Hey, I hope you liked this episode. If you do, please go and check out all the other interesting episodes out on the Plan B Success podcast, as well as on the Plan B Success YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and spread the good word.